Loading scenario 127.
Now, we shall see how impressive you truly are.
Gamers and gamettes, what is going on? My name is Tenek127 and welcome back to another Black Desert video. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys my beginner's guide for Black Desert Online for the Xbox One. Now, keep in mind, a lot of these tips can be applied to the PC version, but just know that when I talk about controls and layouts and different things like that, that's going to be applying to the Xbox One version and possibly the PS4 version coming in the future. Now, before we get started, we're going to go over the beginning and just, a few basics with like the screen menus and stuff like that. So when you first boot up Black Desert Xbox, you're going to be greeted with a server select screen. Now, your optimal decision obviously is going to be to play on whatever server that your friends are in. But keep in mind, Black Desert has a cool feature. You can switch servers at any time. So if you pick a server and find out your friend went somewhere else, no big deal. You just have a 15-minute gap before you switch servers. There's no type of fee or anything like that to swap servers in Black Desert. And if you look on the server list, you can also see the different information about it, like what type of guild or node wars are going on and stuff like that. So do keep that in mind when you're picking a server. After you pick the server select screen, you're going to go to a character slot picking screen, and you're going to be greeted with all 6 classes. Now, Black Desert for right now on Xbox One only has 6 classes in it. In the future, this will change, and I will make updated guides for that accordingly. But you have the choice between the Warrior, which is a sword and shield class until it reaches its awakening. You have the Ranger, which is a bow wielder. The Sorceress, which is a magic melee user. You have the Berserker, which is a 2-hand axe wielder. You have the Wizard, which is a mage, or your typical mage. And then you also have the Witch, which is basically a female version of the Wizard. So before we get into more details, I have a question for you guys. Have you ever wished that, there was an MMO where everyone could just be a DPS? Well, that's kind of how Black Desert works. Now, a lot of these classes, they do have, tanky-ish, traits and abilities, and, the Wizards and the Witch, they do have healing spells. But for the most part, there really is no true Trinity system in here. In this game, pretty much everyone works as a DPS for the most part. These are the 6 classes you were able to pick as of right now in Black Desert for Xbox One, and like I said earlier, they are subject to change, and when more classes are added, I will cover that accordingly. So let's go ahead and get into the main game screen and talk about everything that we're going to talk about. After you pick a class, you're going to be prompted to create your character. You're going to have all kinds of different options and variety, so spend as much time as you need doing that. Once you finish creating your character, you're going to wake up pretty dizzy inside of this little hut in the first town that you arrive in Black Desert. You're going to get a few tutorial commands teaching you how to move your character around and things like that. So while we're on this screen, what I will do is I will go ahead and bring up the HUD. On the top left hand side, you have your health bar, your character's level, and also your experience point ring. This little ring here just indicates how close you are to the next level instead of just being a straight bar that shows from point 1 to point 100 how much XP you have. It's in a diamond shape, so as it just goes around, the more this diamond fills up, that means the closer you are to the next level. On the bottom center here, you have your hotbar, which is going to contain any types of items you need to use, like potions, MPs, restoration items, stamina helping items, any type of items you have and stuff like that. You can also put moves down here and special skills on the hotbar on the hotbar as well. To the top right here, you have your mini map, which is pretty self-explanatory. Shows where your group members are, and all that fun stuff. A little bit below it, you have your current quest, And that's pretty much it for the HUD. The HUD for this game is actually pretty clean. Then also at the top above the map, you do have your server status, the time, and all that fun stuff. But when you come up here in if you push start on your Xbox controller, you also have the menu, which is going to give you a bunch of different options for in the game, whether you want to change your controls, group up with friends. Grouping up with friends has also been made a lot easier since the beta. When you hit your friends list to start a group, you can either A, invite them through their Xbox Live ID, or B, you can add them as a in-game friend and you can invite them that way. Same thing with guilds and all that fun stuff. So now that you guys have the gist of the HUD, the menus, and everything, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about questing. So questing is a really simple feature in Black Desert. The questing system in here can actually work like a lot of mobile MMORPGs that are out today. You can actually set yourself to pretty much just automatically follow the line. I'm going to show you guys a screen here real fast. This is a typical screen you get when you're working on a quest. You're going to see this long blue spotted line just running somewhere. It's probably the easiest direction arrow you're ever going to get in any type of MMO or action RPG or RPG in general. It literally tells you straight up where to go. If you ever get lost during a quest, make sure this navigation arrow is on. Anytime you don't see that navigation arrow, just simply go into your menu, select your quest list, and simply just make sure that the navigation symbol is turned on that quest. Sometimes it accidentally you can accidentally turn it off, or it turns off on its own. I don't know why that happens. I'm not sure if that's a bug or if there are certain things you do in the world that make it shut off so it doesn't interact or interfere with any of your current activities that you are doing. But questing is pretty simple. Also, another tip you can give, if you push down on your D-pad, you can also bring up your black spirit. He's kind of like your little in-game minion guide that just helps you along the game. You'll notice that he talks to you a lot during the tutorial and things like that. Anytime you're also lost on a quest and you can't figure out where to turn it in, push down and talk to the black spirit, because a lot of times I found myself stuck and the whole time the quest just had to be turned into him. And sometimes he ends up being your next quest giver. So anytime you find yourself wandering around looking for an objective for a while and you just don't seem to find it, push down on your D-pad and make sure you don't need to give it to your black spirit. So the next thing I want to talk about here in this game is enemy knowledge and combat basics. And the reason I want to go over this is because during the first beta test, a lot of people were having trouble with a boss called Red Nose. They thought the boss was glitched because they couldn't see his actual health bar. So this is what's called enemy knowledge, and I'm going to teach you guys about this. When you go to fight an enemy in Black Desert, their health bar doesn't always deplete and show up right away. You're going to notice that they change colors a lot. When you don't have much knowledge on an enemy, that means the enemy is just new to you. Think of it like this, like in a typical MMO where you're fighting a brand new enemy for the first time. You don't know his attacks, move sets, or anything, and since he's brand new, you're probably doing a little bit less damage to him than normal. But I assure you, just because you can't see the health bar, that doesn't mean you're not doing damage to the enemy. How you gain enemy knowledge is simple: kill a ton of the enemy, of that specific enemy type, and once you do, eventually their health bar will show up, and you'll actually be able to see how much damage you're doing to them and things like that. And you also have advantages over that enemy as your enemy knowledge goes up as well. You have a couple different enemy knowledge ranks. I believe they start around D or C, and then it goes up to B, then to A, and I'm not quite sure if there's one after A, but there might be an S. I'm not quite sure about that. If I'm wrong, do please forgive me on that, but I do know that there's a C, a B, and an A, and the higher that gets, the better you are off against that enemy. So anytime an enemy's health bar, it just has question marks on it and you don't see it moving, just go around, farm that mob a bit, kill a bunch of those enemies until that health bar shows up for you. Me personally, what I recommend doing is anytime you find a new enemy, and especially since it helps you gain XP anyway, go ahead and just farm it a bit. Kill a lot of them. That way you get knowledge of it. You earn some XP during your quests. Win-win scenario. Now, Black Desert's combat system is actually a lot of fun. I honestly like this game's combat system. It works very similar to your typical JRPG or action RPG. It's a very hack and slash kind of game. There's not really any true lock-on. There is like a kind of auto targeting system, but I wouldn't call it a lock-on. I hope they do add a lock-on system to this in the future. Sorry, I think that would make combat a lot easier. But your basic attack is usually going to be with the right button or the right trigger. Now, there's no particular set combos in this game that I'm aware of. I believe it's more so based on building a rotation that's good for you and your play style, or at least from what I've seen. If you hit start and you go into your move list, you can see all your skills. You'll notice you'll have skill points. The more you level up, the more skill points you get. Every single move you get unlocks with skill points. Now, the thing with Black Desert is most MMORPGs you're going to see, they have like a little cooldown timer. You know, there'll be a bunch of little symbols at the bottom of the screen. Black Desert is more so, I'm not going to say a button masher, but like every single move that you have is set to a different set of buttons. And they can be as things as simple as pushing the right trigger, or something as complex as holding back the left analog stick and pushing the Y button, depending on how the move is set up, what it does, and things like that. Like, for example, the class I play, it has a backside slash. I would hold back on the left analog stick and push the right trigger. My character will step back into a special slash move that like increases my stamina gain for like 10 seconds or HP or something like that. I don't remember exactly what the move does, but you get the gist of it. The good thing about its move list is they show you how all the moves work and tell you what they do. So I would honestly, just go through them, read, see what sounds good to you, what looks good to combo together and things like that. And then basically, after a while, you'll get a gist of it. You'll get out a pretty good build for your character and stuff like that, and you'll have an idea of where you want to go as of move wise, attack wise, what kind of build you want to do, and things like that. But anyway, guys, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for my part 1 of my beginner's guide for Black Desert Xbox. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button for me, and I want to thank you all so much for watching. It's your boy Tnek127, and please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Till next time, peace out, take care.